Here at the Cush Landing for another edition of Sun Devil Extra. Braden Bell joined alongside ASU AD Graham Rossini. Second time we've been up here, Graham. Always great to be here on Grad Week. It's busy everywhere else. We had to seek refuge up here at Cush Landing.
Riding trophies.
Yes.
It's a good place to be.
And a good place to be next to trophies this week because there's going to need to be another little mantle for a new trophy. How about the softball team? We started talking about them last week going into the Big 12 tournament, and one heck of a run through the tourney, knocking off the top 3 seeds of the Big 12. They are Big 12 softball tournament champs.
Unbelievable. So happy, so proud, so excited for the team. You know, this is a talented team. We've talked a lot about them all year long, but then the fashion in which they took down all competition in the Big 12 to beat the 3 seed, the 2 seed, the 1 seed, and route to a Big 12 championship is nothing short of incredible, and played easily their best week of softball all season long. I mean, that was pitching, it was defense, it was offense, it was timely, it was together, it was exciting, all the storylines. And, super excited. They're en route to College Station as we record right now. Can't wait to join them this weekend. And, always be wary of that hot team this time of year.
Especially a hot pitcher in the circle, and that's what ASU has right now in Kenzie Brown, shutting out Texas Tech in that last game, but she was the Big 12 tournament MVP, as you'd imagine. She called that performance against Tech her B game. That's what she said after. Yes, I was like, well, I'm scared to see what the A game is because that's a very dangerous offense in Texas Tech. They're one of the top teams in the country, and it was a shutout and a 4-0 win in the title game.
Well, and it's pretty cool to see Kenzie leveling up as the season's gone on. And she's had a pretty incredible couple weeks. You know, the draft selection with Portland and the AUSL, that was a really big deal. We talked about her golden ticket, and now that she's been drafted, and we were at a donor event in Orange County Thursday night, and we had the U of A game 1 on in the restaurant, and, it's getting a little hairy in the 7th. Bases get loaded. And then up comes the catcher from U of A, who was, I think, Big 12 Player of the Year and also drafted in the round ahead of Kenzie by Portland. Kenzie strikes her out. And I'm like, oh, she's going to have locker room joking rights right out the gate. I'm sure that will come up early and often in their dynamic when they get to become teammates. And then obviously you beat U of A. The room was going crazy. It was a really exciting moment. Fast forward a day later, they get Oklahoma State. They get the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year. They get the hometown crowd as they were playing in Oklahoma City. Handled them, offensive, great performance. And then you're like, all right, Texas Tech, well known in softball circles for the talent and the investment that they put in that roster. And, for a B game to be a 4-0 2-hit shutout, we'll take that all day long. That's exciting.
I mean, watching that, and I saw that quote, it was a B for best. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
that
she's
was
humble.
Awesome. She is humble, and that's what we love about her. It was the softball program's 4th conference title, first since 2022 in terms of that. And
41 wins.
Yeah.
Hot going into the tournament. It's all good. It's so exciting.
It is. And you mentioned now it's on to the NCAA tournament, which that's the fun part about this. You try to carry that momentum over, and in sports, diamond sports especially, you just want to get back out there. And luckily they have that opportunity on Friday where they'll open up against McNeese, 1:30 here local time. But it's the Texas A&M College Station Regional. I know you're going to be out there, like you said. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And it was fun at the selection show. I always enjoy a selection show because all the experts and reporters and the chatter of where we're going, and we thought it was going to be maybe Eugene, we thought it might be Baton Rouge, and then you get sent to College Station. So there's some fun storylines there. So we'll embrace that part of it. We got a really good McNeese State right out the gate Friday in that game. So we'll be ready for it. It's fun this time of year. I mean, that sport obviously continues to grow and thrive at a national level, and so 1 through 4 seeds are all capable. They've all earned the opportunity to play in the tournament. So can't overlook any opponent. And we saw that last year. And I think this team, very veteran team, a lot of players returning from last year's regional appearance at UCLA will use that experience. You can tell Kenzie has, and just how she protects energy, how she's leveled up in the big moment all season long. And can't wait to watch them perform this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun.
No doubt about it. And obviously we're biased, but it's cool to hear some of the national pundits talk about it as well. When softball and baseball, for that matter, when ASU's relevant in those sports, the entire sport is better off. And so it's good to see softball and baseball doing their thing. Obviously adding to the hardware as well. It's something we mentioned on last week's program, but 5 conference titles now this year. That's the most for ASU athletics since 07-08. So it's been a while since we've had that kind of success, and 9 now total since joining the Big 12 last year.
Yeah, very proud. I mean, that's a team effort. We've got amazing coaches leading our athletes. That's front and center. But we've got an incredible team throughout the department that has been pushing for these opportunities. And we talk a lot internally. We talk a lot publicly about above all else, we're a talent development organization. That's our North Star. We've got 643 athletes from all over the world that picked us. They picked our coaches. They picked our university. They picked our environment. We've got to get the coaching part right. We've got to have great leaders of program, great leaders of young people, great teachers of their sport in our space. And then for the rest of us, we're pushing connections and resources and relationships that allow our coaches to have the tools to lead at the highest possible level. And when you add tournament trophies and conference championships, and it's just a good indicator that the hard work's paying off. And there's a lot more we want to do. There's a lot more that we're focused on, but it's nice to every now and then look up and have that tangible marker or evidence of the hard work paying off. So I'm excited for everybody in the department. I'm excited for our fan base. I'm excited about the people that put so much hard work and energy into their effort, their job, what we're doing as a Sun Devil family, and fun to celebrate these moments when they come around.
Yeah, no doubt. And the hardware, certainly, like you said, is a nice way to show off that hard work for everyone around this athletic department and Sun Devil Nation as a whole, of course. One more sport still in the regular season, a final weekend to come for Sun Devil baseball. They'll be on the road against Houston, a team that's last in the conference, but of course we know in the Big 12 there is no easy weekend, so it's still a big weekend, Thursday through Saturday, as ASU baseball tries to still bolster up that resume, work on seeding in the Big 12 tournament, which will be in Surprise next week, and everything's still on the table for them in what is one of those kind of scary weekends, because Houston's one of those teams that really has nothing to lose right now. Yeah,
we're going to learn a lot about our team this weekend. I mean, there's a lot on the line in terms of, you mentioned the conference tournament seeding, the national standings, staying in the rankings, going into the tournament with some momentum. This is a really, really talented roster. I mean, there is up to down talent, pitching staff, position player, offensively, defensively. They got to stay together. They got to come together. They got to play as a unit. They've got to do what they've all done independently at different points of the season. We've got to execute a really big and important weekend at Houston, and get in that tournament. Really, those early buys are critical. You saw what softball was able to do. Obviously, a smaller format in their conference tournament, but having to play 3 games versus 5 games is a big separator this time of year. Where there's some natural wear and tear. There's a lot of activity over the course of a long season, and so going into a conference tournament fresh, lining up your pitching the way that you want, riding the hot hand are all important attributes. And so this team is very capable. We've got a lot of baseball that we're hoping to play over the next several weeks, and so it all starts with 3 games at Houston.
Yeah, top 6 get the double bye for the Big 12 tournament, as Graham was just alluding to. That's very important, and obviously if ASU is able to take care of business against Houston, they'll have that wrapped up. They're in a good position to do that right now before they head down to Houston. One more thing to touch on in terms of a couple of events going on as well. Women's golf at the NCAAs this week, and as well as track and field. They're competing as well this weekend. So
women's golf has had a good day.
Yeah. Okay. You've been tracking the score as we're recording
here. We're in a good
on
spot.
Wednesday.
I feel remotely confident in saying we're going to advance. So waiting on the end of the rounds to go, but we'll flash the screen if I'm wrong or if I'm right, and we'll confirm it.
We'll do a buzzer. Yeah, a buzzer or something.
As of mid-afternoon on Wednesday the 13th, we're in a good spot.
I like it. It's the beauty
let's
of
close it out.
Yeah, we can X this whole segment out if it doesn't work well. No, just kidding. They'll get it done, I'm sure. So we're going to step aside, and even though it is May, it's now triple digits here in the Valley. It's always a good time to talk Sun Devil hockey. Greg Powers will join us on the program when we come back. Back here on Sun Devil Extra, joined now by our guest today, and it's a familiar face, friend of the program, Greg Powers, the hockey coach here at ASU, joins us. Thanks for joining us, Coach, in the middle of May.
Always good to be here on a warm graduation day.
I was going to say, I give you a lot of props for repping the long sleeves.
Well, it's cold at Mullet.
Yes.
Right? So even in my office, it's right next to the ice, and you got to dress a little bit warm to stay sane. So, yeah.
It is warm right now, but it's never a bad time to talk ASU hockey, of course, and there are some exciting updates. Obviously, we'll get to it in a moment, but before we get there, kind of wanted to give you a chance to put a bow on the season that was. Obviously, it wasn't the great finish that we're used to seeing, but it happens in sports. It's tough to win sustainably, so kind of just allowing you to put that year behind us.
It's all about using what happened last year to make us better, taking all the lessons we need to take to make sure that we don't repeat what didn't give us success last year, and there's a lot of those to take. So, I wouldn't say we necessarily have put a bow on it, but we are much more excited about how the windshield is much bigger than the rearview mirror. We learned a lot. We made a lot of corrections. We love what we've done with our roster, which I'm sure we'll get into. And we're all about moving forward and getting back to the top of the NCHC.
Yeah, moving forward is obviously the goal here. I'm curious, you mentioned it, learning from last year, and you hear it all the time in sports from athletes, from coaches. Learning from your adversity, can be one of the best things that you can go through. What are some of those things you learned?
Yeah, I mean, just learning and making sure that our guys, understand how important it is to attack adversity. Right, and from day one, one thing that I've done for our players is buy them a book when they get here. It's called The Obstacle is the Way, and it teaches you how to turn adversity into your advantage. And for whatever reason last year, we just had a group that ran from adversity. And, whether it was the makeup of the skill set, makeup of the mindset, it was just a group that we really struggled with getting to motivate and understanding and making them understand how important it was to attack adversity. And so we've done a lot of things this offseason to prepare our guys in training camp and throughout the summer and create more adversity for them so they see that adversity now and they understand how important it is to attack it and not run from it. You got to go through the obstacle. The obstacle is the way.
Absolutely, and that makes a lot of sense. You mentioned the roster construction, already some exciting new names into the roster, of course, with the transfer portal and everything going on there. What were some of those key attributes you were looking for in new faces to the program?
Just back to what our identity needs to be. People are used to seeing a relentless, physical Sun Devil hockey team on the ice that loves the big moment, that doesn't run from the big moment, and getting more size and physicality and kids that fit that, not only skill set, but most importantly mindset, especially on the back end. We were a little small, little slight, had a bit of an identity crisis with our defensive core last year, and now we don't. We have big, strong kids that are tough and mean, that can skate and break pucks out, and then we have some really exciting shimmy shakers back there that can make plays, kind of like they used to see with Timmy Lovell and Brinson Pashnuk, with kids like Jonas Wu coming in who had 90 points in Medicine Hat, kids like Jack Wilson, who was the USHL Defenseman of the Year, and then Rylan Brown, who was a hell of a player at Michigan Tech and has a lot of skill. So we have a really balanced decor, big and strong and really skilled.
I mean, you kind of just hit the nail on the head in terms of my next question, but addressing some of those areas, like you mentioned, the defense, trying to bolster that up a little bit size-wise, but I guess just strategy-wise, when you had the chance before you dove into the portal, looking at what you had coming back next year, what you wanted to address, do you feel like you kind of were able to hit the head on all those?
We do. We feel really good about it, right? Obviously, we're very confident with what we're brought in. It's a really highly ranked portal class. It's a very highly ranked freshman class. If you combine the two, it's better than we've ever had. So now we got to put to work. We got to make sure that we blend these kids in together. It's a lot of new faces, getting the culture back to where we demand it be, and what's brought us so much success in the past is going to be what's most paramount over the summer. We know we're going to have the talent on the ice to have success, but it's about getting these kids to come together. Most importantly, getting them to buy into their roles, right? And understanding what their roles are. And there's not a kid that's on this roster that hasn't explicitly been, told this is going to be your role. You got to buy into it. This is what you have to be great at for us. And talk about a rising tide lifts all boats. Everybody has to buy in, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, to putting winning first and making Sun Devil hockey successful. When that happens, everybody gets what they want, and they're successful individually.
Coach, I wasn't going to ask about this, but part of that answer, I'm curious, just in terms of kind of explicitly stating out those roles. And nowadays in college sports, with the portal, that's a new thing than maybe 5 to 10 years ago. What's that been like, kind of having to do that or being able to? And I
think anybody that knows me, Braden, will tell you one thing about me. They'll tell you a lot of things, but one thing that will be consistent is I'm brutally honest, and especially with our players. And so we lost some kids to the portal, right? And some of it was by design, and some of it were kids that had exit meetings that were given explicitly what their role would be, and they wanted to go find a bigger role somewhere else or a different role somewhere else. And it was really important for us to get the roster right and make sure that we were very honest in our communication and what our intentions were about what those players' roles would be if they returned. And now in this landscape, they have the right and the ability to go find what they seek somewhere else if they're not getting what they want here. And what it did for us was open up the opportunity to bring the right kids in that understand what we're looking for, that bought into what we're looking for, and we're really excited about that.
Coach, I got to ask you about the NCHC. It's hard to talk Sun Devil hockey without talking about this behemoth of a conference. Obviously, another national champion in Denver, and then you add another new team in St. Thomas. So the league just keeps growing. Obviously, the success is there. What's it like to be a part of, even in the recruiting process, right, or just in general, being part of such a prestigious league, the best in the country?
Yeah, I mean, without being in this league, we don't have the players that we are able to bring in, either from the portal or the freshman class. Not one kid would we have been able to get out of the 17 new faces, if we were independent or if we probably played in any other league, they want to play in the NCHC. It's the best conference in college hockey, 8 of the last 10 national championships, and it's a gauntlet, and we learned the hard way. We already knew how great it was, but our first year, great year, come in second place, almost win it in our first year, and then just like that, if some things don't go your way and you don't figure some things out, you can fall quickly because there's no nights off. So the good news is in this landscape, you can also turn it on its head very quickly, and that's exactly what we intend to do this year.
Well, and like you said, it's something we hear doing this show all the time. The Big 12, right, for the other sports, it's a tough conference in almost every single sport as well. And it seems like, this athletic department, Graham says it all the time, we want to play the best. Yeah. We want to compete at the highest level. And you guys have that chance every single night.
Well, and last year, not only was the NCHC obviously the best league in college hockey, but we had the number 2 ranked strength of schedule in the country. So out of conference, open up against Penn State, who was top 5 in the country at the time. The list goes on and on. Our non-conference schedule last year was a gauntlet, and with 14 freshmen and all those new faces, looking back, probably wasn't the best idea. But that's the beauty of hindsight, and you live and you learn.
Yeah, and that's kind of that rounding into form, right, in terms of what you can build on going forward. As we know, this is a very loyal fan base, and they pack out Mullet and make it one of the best environments in all of college hockey. But, those fans that have been with you, behind you, as this program's been built year after year after year, kind of what's your message to them as we might be in the midst of the offseason right now, but season's going to be coming pretty quick.
Yeah, stick with us. It's a fickle world out there, and trust me, we have attacked this offseason. I think we've proved that. With the talent that we've proven that are coming in. But we've attacked it with a vengeance like we've never have before. And we are very hungry and very motivated and very honest, very, I won't say it because this is a family show, but angry about what happened last year. And we're going to use all that and channel it to our advantage in a very positive way. And it's going to pay off for us. It's going to pay off for our fans that stick with us and that pack Mullet every night. We're very fortunate. We have a passionate fan base that expects us to be successful. That's what we always wanted as we built this program, is a sold-out barn full of people that are passionate about Sun Devil hockey, that want success and to demand success. And it's our main goal to keep them happy and to make them happy and proud of us.
It's a family show, but pissed off for greatness?
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
We can say that.
Braden said it. I didn't say it.
Yeah, I'll take the fine if there is one. But, Coach, thanks a lot for joining us, man. Like I said, never a bad time to talk hockey. I got to get your Stanley Cup pick as well before we let you go.
I got to go with Colorado.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how you can't. They're just big. They're deep. They're fast. If their goaltending holds up, I'm a little bit worried about their goaltending. 2 good goalies, but unproven winning goalies in the Stanley Cup playoffs. If there's a reason why Colorado doesn't win the Stanley Cup, it'll be because of that. But if those 2 guys hold up and they can kind of run the gauntlet together, they're going to run away with it.
Take your notes, people. I agree. Not that my opinion matters at all. Coach, thanks a lot for joining us, man.
Appreciate it.
We'll be back to wrap things up with Graham Rossini when we return. Back here on Sun Devil Extra, rejoined now by ASU AD Graham Rossini. I'm your host, Braden Bell, and it is grad week, as we alluded to, an exciting time to be a Sun Devil, whether you're a student athlete or not. Of course, everyone's hard work, I should say, being rewarded this week, and it's such an exciting time. And wanted to touch on the wrestling program, because they put forth a historically good academic year where they were the academic national champs, #1 GPA of any wrestling team of the nation, and I think that kind of rounds into form of the overall success in the classroom that Sun Devil Athletics has put forth this year as well.
Yeah, shout out to wrestling. That was an incredible accomplishment for that program. And you mentioned graduation week. We had our Stole ceremony a few days ago, our athletic commencement ceremony, and 178 graduates from Sun Devil Athletics across all of our programs. And it's a really cool moment. You get to see everybody out of workout clothes for a change and everybody dressed up and looking good for graduation and some family time. But, sport by sport, there's these success stories across the board. And we've got the graphic that we'll put up with our success with graduation success rate, the APR, the GPA, the male sports having elite academic success, the female sports obviously setting the tone with very high cumulative GPA. So leading the Big 12 in academic All-Americans. We had a number of Elite 90 winners. It was really cool at the Still ceremony. Johnny Kulo from men's swimming got his name called 3 times for Big 12 scholar athlete, swimmer of the meet in the Big 12, and then Elite 90 for being the top student in the entire championship for swim and dive. Was pretty cool. And so excited for Johnny. He's going to stay and work out with some goals of LA 28, but really proud of certainly the athletic performances get a lot of time and attention, as they should, but academically, the success across the department is unbelievable. Shout out to our Office of Student Athlete Development, our Champ Life group, and everybody involved in helping them excel off the field, off the court as well.
Yeah, it might sound cliche. Those may not get trophies per se, as we've talked about in that terms of success, but it's equally, if not more so important overall in terms of the student-athlete life beyond sport.
Yeah, there's no doubt, but it is cool in the Big 12. I mean, the Commissioner's Cup, which we were lucky to win last year, measures athletic performance, community engagement, and academic performance as well. So that's certainly a component of a well-rounded department. We feel like we're well on our way there. And again, fun to celebrate those moments. And we had a number of graduations on Monday, still going on this week, but always nice to celebrate the end of a successful academic year as well.
Yeah, kind of at a close of the year, which is hard to believe. It seems like it's just gone by so quickly. Another edition of our favorite segment, and I'm going to warn you guys now, I think we always have a good Sun Devil for Life of the Week, but this might be the biggest name we've ever had, and that's with all due respect to everyone else, right? We love everyone that's been featured here, but take it away, Graham. Who do we got?
I mean, it's our newest Sun Devil. He was here this week, so he qualifies. Dr. Harrison Ford,
Oof.
who
Big
was
name.
One of the keynotes at commencement Monday night here at Mountain America Stadium. Unbelievable message, and it was really cool for him to talk about his journey as a college student and finding his way through it as a geek and a misfit, as he talked about, and getting lined up with the theater outfit. He thought he'd be more of a carpenter behind the scenes, and then got on stage, had some success. That led to landing Star Wars. Star Wars obviously created some resources, and then even as he was acting, thinking about how he can use his platform and the social responsibility of being in the public eye to affect change. And so he's really dedicated a ton of time, a ton of his resources towards conservation, and that was a big part of his message of like, we're all here to change the world, and resources are the backbone of livelihood and mankind, and we need to be responsible there. And so really cool. I mean, the ovation that he got inside Mountain America Stadium was incredible, and proud that he is now a Sun Devil. Had a chance to meet him before the ceremony. That was a thrill. Dr. Richard Kimball, for any fugitive fans out there. I know everybody talks about Han Solo and Indiana Jones, but let's not forget Richard Kimball.
I'm glad you didn't forget Richard Kimball. I think if you were to poll average Americans, he would be up there as the most popular, one of the most popular and more well-respected actors ever.
Yeah, he was very kind. He was very gracious. There were a lot of people that wanted to bend his ear and take a photo, and handled it with grace and poise as you would expect. So a lot of fun to welcome him to the Sun Devil family. He and Dr. Crow have a great relationship that goes back decades plus now. But yeah, maybe an unconventional answer, but a fun one to showcase this week.
No, I like it. Not that this is my segment, but how about Molly Miller being on the Mercury pre-half and post-game? She's a TV star now. Not that that should surprise a single person. She's everywhere all the time, as we talk about. But she did a great job. I don't know if you're watching, but she did a really good job.
We had it tuned in at home. I was with her this morning for a meeting and got a chance to compliment her. She's great. She was very natural. She's also put together a heck of a transfer class. I know Coach Powers is here. We love a good pullover. We love a good half sip. Those days may be gone for a couple months, but it's great to have Coach Powers on. One of the top transfer portal classes in hockey. Coach Miller did the same thing in women's basketball. I think I saw this week the number 4 transfer portal class in women's basketball. And so, we got coaches that can do it all. Pretty cool to be around them. Pretty cool to feed off their passion for the place. And we got good people doing good things all over the place.
I'll tell you this. We always want to be where our feet are, right, and be present of the moment. And as we said, softball, baseball, and women's golf still going through, men's golf as well, going through their postseasons. But you know what? There's so much to look forward to in the fall as well. You look forward and into the winter with hockey, men's basketball, football. There's just so much to look forward to in this athletic department right now. It's really special.
Yeah, it's fun to celebrate the end of an academic year. We obviously have some sports that are still competing. We're celebrating graduation, but you kind of just want to roll this momentum right into the summer, and we've got a lot left to plan for, a lot that we're thinking about and getting ready for. Changes and adjustments and feedback has been very helpful throughout the year, and we just want to roll this momentum into the fall. And I was at lunch today talking to folks about football season, and so much excitement for this roster and this coaching staff and the energy around this fan base. And soccer and volleyball will be the first 2 back, and then we'll get right back in the rhythm. So I know we're not quite done with the year yet, but we do want to roll this momentum, and it's been fun to be a part of.
It certainly has, and a big thank you to you, Graham, for stopping by today, as well as Greg Powers for joining us on the program. Any big plans for the rest of the week for you? Besides softball, I know you got to get down there to College Station.
Yeah, getting down to College Station. It's a little bit of a tricky route to get there, but planes, trains, and automobiles. I should be there by game time on Friday. I felt bad. I was not able to get to Oklahoma City for the Big 12 championship. That hurt. I try to make a point. If we're in a position to win a trophy, I want to be there for those teams. And got back to Orange County late Friday night, and there just wasn't a route that got us into Oklahoma City in time for a 11 a.m. Central start. So that hurt, but I want to make sure I'm there this weekend for them in College Station. And so looking forward to that. That's what's next.
Safe travels. Probably some good barbecue or something down there as well, I'm imagining.
Let's just get some more wins.
Yeah, that's what's on the menu. You're right.
Thanks
for
get some
joining
B+
us.
pitching. That was the B level last week. Let's go B+.
I'm just going to roll my eyes at that statement. Like, I read that.
She's good.
Yeah, she's outstanding.
She's really good. We're going to miss her. But
Let's
let's just keep it going a couple more weeks.
keep it rolling. Let's be talking about Super Regional next week. Why
I
not?
love it. Let's do it.
All right, that's it. Thanks for joining us for Sun Double Extra. We'll talk to you next week.